Okay.
So that's wait, no. I'm not done. Mario. I'm not done.
Mario,
so
listen to me
he
for a
can
second.
initiate.
Mario.
He can initiate by berating me, condescending to me, belittling me. When I walked through the door, I told you how he treated me, and I said that was the whole underlining feeling I had about Daniel anyway. And that's when he asked me about Daniel. That's what I said to him about Daniel. And it wasn't nasty, mean-spirited. It was none of that. I said, Daniel's not the nicest person, but I'm trying to deal with him. That's the way Daniel was treating me when I stepped out of that vehicle, walked through that door, looked at all of these cars in the showroom, went around, looked at the red Porsche, because it said it was available for sale, also online. Someone unlocked it. It may have been you. I don't know who it was. Someone unlocked it, let me sit inside, and then Daniel told me about the other room. I went over to the other room, and that's when that gentleman, that person let me in, and we looked at cars. And then I began asking him some questions about some of the cars. Daniel walks in, about to leave, and does more of the same of what he had been doing since I walked through the door. Do you think the way Daniel was talking to me was a way he should have been speaking to a customer? No. So, but I escalated the situation. Do you think I'm dumb because I'm black? I can tell when somebody's mistreating me or treating me different than they would if I was a white male, my age, have 2 houses like I have, 5 cars, and have the job that I have and make the money I make. But I escalated the situation. Expected something different of you. But as soon as my back was turned, you took the easy route and the easy opportunity.
No, I reviewed that with the witness in the room and will review the tape.
Okay, are we done?
Do you think I escalated the situation? I did call him a name, but how did I get there? How did I get there?
I think after Daniel is being continued this conversation
with you, Mario,
and being as well.
The rate at which white folks are actually jealous of the black is alarming. And sometimes I ask questions. Why is this so? Why is it that when a black person go to a place or gathering or a store, they want to size it up? They have an expectation that they are expecting from you. So when you exceed the expectation, they kind of snap, they kind of look shocked, and they kind of, the look of, what is it, that they're envious and they're jealous of you, and unconsciously or consciously, they begin to exhibit that character unknowingly to them. And some, they act it like, this, you shouldn't be here. I mean, I have a couple of videos for you guys to watch today, and what I'm saying is not because I just want to say this in my head. No, it is what I have seen, I have observed, and I have videos to buttress all of this, and I want you guys to watch it so that we can begin the conversation after you have watched it. Credit belongs to original creator of this content. But hey guys, let's watch carefully, and I'll be back so that we can talk about this. Why is it so? Why the contention? Why the, guys, let's just go watch it. Subscribe, like, and share if you love this great content. Thank you.
White people, is it true that a lot of y'all are really jealous of black people when it comes to physical attributes? I just want to know.
Brand spanking new Lexus SUV. How is that possible? Integrate into the same neighborhood that I worked my entire life to get into.
Wait, what? It's usually the other way around. Usually it's rich people saying, why are you here if you're not driving a BMW, if you're not driving a Mercedes? This guy is saying that his immigrant neighbor is doing better than him, and therefore he should be shamed for it. I don't understand. First of all, how is it possible to drive $100,000 Lexus? It's not that hard. There's plenty of ways to do that. Anyway, back to the point. And the point is you being jealous and racist. Integrate into the neighborhood that you've worked your whole life to get into, and then you bash him for driving a $100,000 Lexus. What the? Surely there must be a grown-up in this family, right? Dang, never mind. Roll the clip.
There he is, right there. That guy right there. That's a look at that vehicle. Yeah, that's an immigrant. That's an immigrant with a $100,000 Lexus.
There it is. That's an Asian guy. He's an immigrant. Why is he driving a $100,000 Lexus? Come on. I think you're just mad because you have to face the reality of knowing that your skin color does not dictate the level of your success.
I freaking swear, the audacity, what is it, caucasity of some people. I'm gonna just play it.
Brand spanking new Lexus SUV. How is that possible? Integrate into the same neighborhood that I worked my entire life to get into. I don't understand it. Oh yeah, here's this guy right here in his brand new Lexus.
There he is, right there.
That guy right there. That's a
look at that vehicle.
Yeah, that's an immigrant. That's an immigrant with a $100,000 Lexus. Yeah.
So let me get this straight. You're upset that he's driving that luxury vehicle? Like, bro, be angry at your ancestors. You had a 400-year head start, and your ancestors couldn't get it right? Like, bro, don't be mad because they come here to work. Like, they know they need at least 2 to 3 jobs just to make it out here. That's how they're able to afford these type of things. They don't come to play games. They don't take vacation. They're working 24/7, 7 days a week. That's how they're able to afford this. It's not the government giving them a handout. It's them busting their ass. What you should be doing. And instead of looking at that person like they stole it or something, how about you go to your neighbor and you ask them like, hey, how are you able to afford this? And they'll tell you, hey, I got 3 jobs. I don't have a day off. I don't take vacations. I barely spend any money. Nonsensical things. I'm pretty sure they'll tell you that. They'll give you the roadmap to make sure you can have a vehicle just like him because you're jealous that you can't afford one after 40 years. Jesus.
Brand spanking new Lexus SUV. How is that possible? Integrate into the same neighborhood that I worked my entire life to get into. I don't understand it. Oh yeah, here's this guy right here in his brand new Lexus.
There he is, right there.
That guy right there. That's a
look at that vehicle.
Yeah, that's an immigrant. That's an immigrant with a $100,000 Lexus. Yeah.
I have a theory about why black women and white women are having such a hard time getting along, and it starts with a story. When I first started teaching, I was in a teacher training program with 3 other women. 2 of them were black and 1 of them was Indian, and we started teaching at the same school, the same grade, at the same time. One of these women, a black woman, completely excelled. She did so much better than I did at literally everything. Classroom management, her test scores were high. She was excellent at literally everything. And something about her excellence didn't sit right with me. I just didn't feel good about it, and I couldn't figure out why I didn't feel good about it. It was internalized racism, but I didn't know that yet. So I had to sit with this idea of her being better than me and trying to figure out why it didn't feel good and feel comfortable for me. And of course, at the time, I didn't know that I needed to do the work of anti-racism, so I didn't think it was possibly because I could have internalized racism. I had to do a lot of study and thought about myself and what could possibly be making me feel this way about this woman. And here's what I discovered. Most of the media that I had consumed up to that point in my life had white people as the central characters. And the shows and other media that I consumed that had white women at the central characters often had black women as the side characters. These black women's role in these movies was to assist the white women, support the white women, advise the white women, but never to rise above the white women. Even shows that were about black women, like The Help, had white women as the central character and the black women as supporting characters. So I internalized the idea that black women were there to support me and to advise me, but not to rise above or become better than me. And that's why when this black teacher was way better and more talented than me, I felt some kind of way about it. Now, I'd imagine lots and lots more white women have also internalized the same idea, and that's why they feel okay stealing black women's content and not giving them any credit, because the black women are just there to advise them anyway. But most black women are natural leaders. Society has forced them to become leaders. And so we need to step aside and let them lead, even if it means checking our privilege and letting them lead us. There he is, right there.
This is actually the thought process of many white Americans, because fundamentally, racism has them believing that black people and minorities and as a whole struggle on a day-to-day basis, because they actually have been struggling and they've been receiving handouts since the beginning of this country, from GI bills to welfare to free land to stolen land. They don't teach this in American history, but at the same time, white Americans were going to the Great Depression and struggling, and business collapsing and starvation and all these kind of things. Black people were still holding it together. So imagine that you are told that you are the most superior people. You are the smartest. You deserve everything that is coming to you. And you look in your pockets and you have nothing. You look at yourself and you have nothing. But you look across the aisle and those people, right, that were hung, that were beaten, that were harassed, and that were disrespected in all kinds of ways, they're thriving. The truth is that black people have saved the American economy, and this is what they don't like to tell. And even during Jim Crow, black codes, people being lynched, people being redlined into poverty, black people have still stood up. This is why they took the time to go out of their way to hold black people down, because if they left black people alone, black people would quickly outpace them.
So that says it all. I'm sure you guys have watched it, so you can see that I'm not trying to make up anything, but based on what people are saying, I'm sure you listen to the lady. She said as a teacher, she found out that colleague who happens to be a black person is better than her, and she's resentful. She was like, why? That she sat back. That takes someone that really want to learn, that really want to know what is the fault, why am I thinking this way? But most of them don't think like that. They just exhibit it, just want to hate it, just want to envy you, and strifes begin. But this lady said she sat back to think, why am I feeling this way? Do you understand? She was like, why am I resentful? Why am I feeling unhappy that she's better than me? And she now said, all the things that she has been consuming right from when she was young, the movies, the characters that have been playing in the movies are always been done by white folks, taking the lead part, taking the lead role. And she feels that even when it's about the black person, the white person will take the lead. And she assumed that every person around me that is black or brown person are around me to help me. I must be better than them. I must be seen to be ahead of them. It is by default. She must be seen to be better. But in this case, she's not better. That lady is far, far better than her. And she became upset. You see, this is exactly what we're saying. The narrative has been that the white folks are better, but it is not true. And that is why when you see a black person doing something that they can't do, or you are riding a better car. Look at the guy that was riding the car. The guy said, I cannot be riding a better car than him. That has been in the system for so long. He's an immigrant. He just came from... Who told you? And the guy said, you need to go and find out if this guy is doing 2 or 3 jobs and he has no rest. That is when he can afford to buy such a car, Lexus. That what about 100K, right? And he's like, why is it? I'm even more shocked because in America, you don't pay cash outrightly. You don't pay cash outrightly. You can buy the car and every month you are paying. It's mortgage. So that means that guy can't even afford to buy such a car. So you now assume that since he can't do it, that guy shouldn't be able to do it. But the guy is working. It's amazing or annoying that white folks can be thinking like that, that if they can't do it, black folk shouldn't be able to do it. But it's a lie. And that is a narrative that has been portrayed for many years, for too long. And that is why most of them, to be sincere, most of them are actually acting out of ignorance. They've been told, the narrative has been in their system, it has been in their subconscious that anything that they can't afford, the black must not be able to afford it. But it's a lie. Come to think of it, the blacks are very, very hardworking. It is a known fact in terms of strength, in terms of we are better off. So when you see a black person that put the same energy into work, into making money, of course he or she will be better, and that is the fact. But they don't want to accept it. And you can see from the video, he's upset that they are in a better car, a better house, and all that. Look at the guy that going to price a car. He's a rich guy, but unknown to them because he's black, they're giving him attitude. And of course, they call the police and ask, do you know who I am? This is what has happened. This is what has happened. And that, if I'm a white person, will he act to me that way? You see, these are the narrative. And I believe that the time has come really to begin to show these people that it is not about the color of the skin, it's about what is upstairs. If you can work, if you can be disciplined, just like the guy said, if you can avoid spending your money frivolously, buying things that are not needed, if you can work and be disciplined, you can afford anything and you can be very rich as a black person. So also goes to a white person, but it's not about the color, it's about what you have upstairs, and now you're able to plan yourself. Guys, let me know what your take is. I don't want to go more than I have done already. What do you think about this story? Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your views at the comment section. Thank you guys for liking and subscribing to my channel. I'm grateful. Thank you for all the subscribing and liking and all the beautiful thoughts. Thank you guys. I'm grateful. See you around again. Bye-bye.